I'm Malak, and the conversation continues. Today's conversation is, who can you trust? Because it seems like these days you can't trust anyone. And as it says behind me, make sure everyone in your boat, which is in your surroundings, your people, your connections, the people that you roll with, make sure everyone in your boat is rowing and not drilling holes when you're not looking. Know your circle. So you have to know the people that you roll with. And you have to know the people that you allegedly select as your leader or that you follow. Like on the internet, fan clubs, who you follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Who can you trust? Who can you trust that they don't have their own agenda and they're not leading you astray? Look at your president of the so-called United States. You definitely can't trust Trump, but people thought they could. And we all know, putting it out there again till it penetrates, because some of y'all, no matter how much you hear it, you don't believe it. Donald Trump was selected. Barack Obama was selected. George Bush was selected. They're not elected by the popular vote. They're selected by a group of billionaire individuals who place them in that office for whatever purpose and reason that they have. So Donald Trump being selected, people still went out with their emotions saying, you know what, I'm gonna vote for him because he's gonna do this for me. But now you see, you can't really trust him. Unless you have millions of dollars and you have money vested in the stock market, the right stocks, and bonds and securities and index funds and mutual funds, that's the only way you could say, I trusted Donald Trump and he's delivering for me. Otherwise, you can't trust him. And now he let down some of the billionaire people too, because they trusted that he wouldn't try to sell the election to other people and sway the votes and do underhanded, illegal stuff as the president. And he has. So everyone's looking at impeaching Donald Trump for what? I mean, I agree he should be impeached at the latter end so that the robot man, Mike Pence, doesn't take over. He'll only have maybe a week. But impeach him at the end so he could be disgraced because he loves to be in the limelight, and then maybe he'll get arrested like he should be. But other than that, who can you trust? You roll with people that are constantly trying to stab you in the back. And I brought out Dotard Trump, the president, first because even on a high level of government, you can't trust people. You can't trust because you have leaders or people in the Congress or the government, because they might look like they could be at your family reunion as one of your relatives, that they're gonna cape for you. Look at Clarence Thomas. He's on the Supreme Court, dark brown man, afro. This guy, you would think he is a racist Caucasian that had slaves. That's how horrible he is to our people. And when you listen to a lot of people up there, even the so-called Democrats, who are our people, you have Maxine Waters, she's rah, rah, rah right now, impeach the president, that's all good. But what type of impact has she made to help our people on a high level or her communities? You had John Lewis marched during the civil rights movement, but yet one of the districts that he holds down in Baltimore, Maryland, it's horrible. And how do I know that? Not because Donald Trump said it. I drove through Baltimore and I literally had tears in my eyes to see my people living in such squalor, living in such poverty. I thought the South Bronx was bad. Actually, the South Bronx, they're building it up because they're calling it Sobro now because they're getting ready to do gentrification there. But that's another story. But Baltimore, it is bad. We're not talking about the inner harbor, but you have these guys who are in politics, who everyone trusts to put them in that position, and what do? They're really not doing anything for our people. You go to all these conferences, they have the NAACP conference, the Black Caucus. What do? They talk a mean game, push a little policies here and there. They get some stuff approved. I'm not gonna take away everything, like they're not doing absolutely nothing, but they do just enough, because it's all a game. You would not be in those positions if their Caucasian puppet masters didn't want you in that position. That's how it is. And that's how it goes down. In every arena of business, entertainment, or whatever it is, if you're up here, no, you can't trust that person. And they will not say anything for our behalf that's positive or strengthening us as a movement and coming together as a people. So I'm gonna take this call. As I'm going through, so Benjamin, you're on the air. And even before, Benjamin, I just want to bring this out. What just came out too, Donald Trump. Hey, Benjamin, Shalom, what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I call him, Donald Trump. That's what he is, a chump.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, even Donald Trump, Mike Pence, he even kisses his behind where Donald Trump put the water on the floor. He grabbed his bottle of water, put it on the floor. Mike Pence, Donald Trump said, hey, you should ask Mike Pence for his conversations instead of trying to copy mine and find out what I'm saying to other people.
Right.
Yeah, you could turn down your television in the background noise.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I like the title you have. Who can you trust?
Right.
Yeah, because I'm going through a situation right now with my sister, and she's been doing me, dirty, like as far as like me. Me staying here, my mother is staying with her right now because she's been through some medical situations.
Right.
And she's been doing some like really sneaky stuff where she can get me kicked out the house.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like the family members are the ones who you would think, oh yeah, my sister, my brother ride or die for me, and sometimes they can be your worst enemies.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my father used to always say that, you don't get along with his family what he went through when he was younger. And he's 74 right now. But when he went through, when he was living down south or whatever, it was a lot of stuff that happened that he didn't like.
Right.
How they was treating him and his brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's it's like with family, friends or whoever. But like my pop said, it's gonna be a lot of mashing and gnashing. I forgot what scripture it says that.
A lot of what?
Mashing
Madness?
and gnashing, meaning going against each other.
Oh
Your
yeah.
own family.
Oh
Like
definitely.
a situation. Yeah, like a situation that happened in Katrina.
Right.
You probably heard about it where this guy killed his sister over a pack of ice.
Nah, I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, brother. It's good to hear from you.
Yo, and I hope, everything works out with your family and everything.
Yes,
Definitely.
indeed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely for that.
All right. Yo, I seen your partner Malachi one time.
Yeah.
He comes on Tuesday. I don't see him like that on TV because. Yeah.
Where, on
So
Tuesdays?
what made I meant to ask you a long time ago. What made y'all separate? Like
I mean,
have your own show.
it was just time to separate. You know how people is, you just have to go your separate ways.
Right.
All right.
All right. Take care.
All right, peace.
Peace and love. All right.
And what Brother Benjamin was talking about was Matthews 10:34 and 35. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Now, some Christianity organizations say the sword is division, because it says division in the book of Mark. But this is actually talking about a sword, like it says in Job 19:29, where a sword bringeth wrath. And it also comes from the Hebrew word karab, which means sword. Because Christ is not coming back to play games, as you read in Revelations 19:11. He came to judge and make war. And 35 says, for I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes or enemies shall be they of his own household. So unfortunately, these are signs of the times, but fortunately, these are signs of the times, because that means it's closer to our rulership than when we ever expected. So these are the things that are happening, and it's like, who can you trust? Brother Benjamin brought up, you can't even trust people in your own family, especially in sad times during death. You have family coming out the woodwork who never really cared about the person, who might be trying to rake in all the money or find out, let's ransack the house. Let's go through the house and see what else we could find in the house that we could take and hoard to ourselves. So these are the things that people do when they're not trustworthy. Or you might trust somebody to reveal stuff to, and they use that information against you because they never liked you in the first place, because there's some demons that were on them. So these are things that also happen. So what's going on, Eddie?
You talk about who can you trust now. Like I said, you take Takahashi 69. This fool was a wannabe gangster.
Right.
All right. He got it somehow. He got in with the blood. Had people. He set up people. Had people killed and all that. Then he went down, or they took him down. Then he went to court and gave up a lot of names.
He pointed everybody
like
out.
Jim Jones, yeah, and Cardi B, and like you said, a lot of names. And you know what the U.S. government said? Thank you very much. Okay. So,
Exactly.
And I'm saying, these young fools out here should not be trusting these rappers.
I know.
Look at Jay-Z. Oh, he's part of the Illuminati and all that. Yo, you are not going to find Jay-Z, his name, in any part of the super elite who control America. His name is not in there.
He thinks he
Those
could
people
be
make
that.
trillions of dollars.
He,
Jay-Z's nowhere near that.
but he thinks he could be one day, and that's why he destroys his people on a low level.
Right.
And they'll never
And
let
they'll
him in.
set him up if he's not careful.
Exactly.
Look what happened to Bill Cosby.
Of course.
Prime example. All right? Don't you find it kind of weird
R. Kelly.
that R. Kelly? Now you look at Weinstein. He raped over 100 actresses, but this guy has not gone to jail yet.
And
They
he's
take him
making
to
a
court. They bring him out of court. He's not going to jail.
settlement
What?
where they agreed that he could pay them a certain amount of money and just hush money.
Right. Right. So you figure, why are all these young black entertainers being taken down? It's a conspiracy.
Exactly.
All right? That's what these young people got to realize. You cannot trust Hollywood. If you go in there, you better go in there with your eyes wide open.
And they're not.
Period. Because you're going to end up like R. Kelly or Bill Cosby.
Look at Lauryn
You know,
Hill.
with the Takahashi 69.
Look at Lauryn
All
Hill,
right?
Wesley Snipes.
Mm-hmm. They took down Wesley.
And they shut you down. They won't even let you work for a long time.
Well, you got to question why they're going to remake Blade now. Because I'm suspicious of that.
I mean, you'll hear him talking openly about selling out his people, just like Isaiah Washington. They blackballed him for about 10 years. Then he came back saying, I'll wear a dress. Yeah, sure. I don't have any problem with transgenders. I don't do. So now they're going to push him up because now he's the brown face to spread propaganda for them.
Well, you see, they got the black athletes on a jam, big jam. Ever since they took down the brother there who made that knee, he'll never work in the NFL again.
Yeah,
Then you
Kaepernick.
have this other black dude, who football player who raped this young trainer, and the NFL said, "To hell with that. We're firing this guy.
Exactly.
This guy's nuts." You know.
Right.
These black athletes, they're not conscious, man. They're not conscious. They're not like the brothers back of the 50s and 60s.
But they have something on all
They were
these.
conscious.
They have something on all of them, and they just don't bring it out right away unless they want to use it against them.
Well, like I said, when Trump gets that second term, it's going to get wild. Remember, there was an article I read in the Amsterdam News that the decision's been made that it will no longer allow black or brown people to come to America. That's going to continue, and who knows if even Trump gets a second term, how long he's going to last, but it's going to continue without him.
Oh, of course.
All right?
That
Like you
agenda
said,
will
the elite
continue.
has made that decision. They told them, look, we're going on a shutdown. You carry that agenda out. That's why we put you in power.
Exactly.
Like the same thing with Barack Obama. He signed those martial law. That's what Alex Jones was talking about. And you know what happened to him? They got rid of him.
Yeah, Alex Jones was half and half, but he was right on that. And Obama not only did that, people not even grasping the concept that he gave the billionaires a tax break for 8 years, even his first year when he could have changed it.
That's it. That's it. That's the deal the billionaires gave him.
Yep.
That's the deal they gave him, 8 years.
Bail
Donald
out.
Trump gave him a bigger tax break.
He's just openly doing it.
Yeah. So
He don't
that's why
care
he's
what
gonna
you
get the
think.
second term. He's going to get a second term.
And people
I
still
would
trust
like Warren
him.
to win, but they're going to jam her. They're going to jam her.
But like you was saying with Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? He said he had his humble beginning in a supermarket, working in a supermarket, and somebody just happened to come up to him and say, hey, do you rap? And he's like, yeah. Hey, I'm going to give you a contract. I'm like, really? That's how easy it is? And these people were some big mega people. His agent, the agent's father is like one of the big dogs of that whole industry. And they just came up to him and just offered him a mega contract where they took him around the world so he could get street cred when he comes back to America just because they saw him and asked him that question. Tell me that wasn't a setup for him to be an informant to give him street cred, like, yeah, I rapped in Europe, I've been in Australia, I've been all over the world, I'm a hit. Now I'm back in America, and I'm gang related. Because allegedly, he was with the Crips, posing and paying them to do videos with him, and then he went into the Bloods, and he was doing the same thing. So he's gathering names and all this information for the FBI before people even knew it.
So he was an undercover agent.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of people.
So makes you wonder how many of these rappers are agents for the government.
That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Many of them are agents because anybody that's doing something positive or where they have a following, even if it's negative, but they have a following of a lot of black people or Latino people, they will definitely set up somebody in the midst of that group to try to shut you down.
Oh, look at the Excepcion. He was set up for that murder.
Who's that?
Excepcion.
I don't know who that is.
Excepcion. That light-skinned dude who made this radical video when he was starting out. And he went to buy his new car, and all of a sudden, I think it was either a motorcycle or a car, and all of a sudden he got murdered.
Oh, yeah, the rapper that got killed in Queens or something?
Yeah. He was very, like you said, he was very conscious. He was set up. Like you said, anybody who's conscious in the hip-hop community, they're going to set him up. They're going to set him up. Like any black filmmaker, they're going to set him up.
Right, and not give you the funding.
I'm surprised they haven't moved on over Yaduaye yet.
Yeah, she makes some powerful
she came
statements.
Out with that miniseries, yeah, about the Central Park 5.
Her time is coming.
You know. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, man, we're gonna see Trump get that second term. I don't know if they'll be able to impeach him. Even if you impeach him, he won't. It's gonna be like Clinton. The Senate ain't gonna do it. The Republicans say, hell no. All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for that input, Eddie. So I'm going to take this next call, engineer, before I bring this out. So you got to remember, I just want to put it out there, who can you trust? Because if you're in an organization where you're promoting positivity, even if it's on a small level, trust and believe they're going to send somebody to try to infiltrate your movement. So Benjamin, what's going on? Benjamin, you're going to have to turn all your devices down in the back for the interference.
Hello?
Hello? What's going on?
This is Benjamin's brother.
Oh, what's going on, Benjamin's brother? What's your name?
My name is Tank.
Paint?
Yes, T-A-N-K.
Okay. What's your comment, Pank?
My comment is you are a deep brother, and those two words I see highlighted in your thing there behind you,
right,
are the deepest I have ever heard today.
And that's not even my quote. I can't take the credit for it, but I thought it was high-powered when I read it.
But we're on the same page, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Man, it's powerful.
Yeah, thanks for that. But it's
Man, your show is incredible. It's my first time viewing you, but I'm going to look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it. 6:30 live every Saturday.
I will tune in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pink.
I feel like what y'all have up there on that board is like the same metaphor or the weakest link situation. To know your circle. Yes, you must.
Which situation?
I'm a little horse, so you might hear me.
Oh, yeah,
I said
yeah.
the weakest link situation is like what your metaphor, your thing up there is very powerful, brother.
Right.
And a lot of people cannot understand that.
Yeah, but they will the hard way, unfortunately.
That is absolutely so. But you have gratitude to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just feeling like I'm quite sure I got way more information for the public, and I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, more information is going to come out, though.
Yeah, because knowing your circle is very beneficial to your self-preservation, of course.
Yep. Whoever is beneficial to your inner circle, but what you got to do, just make sure you keep your eyes open.
Yeah, it's really hard to decipher the real and the fake.
And that's why there's a...
You know,
Go ahead.
because these days the truth sounds like a lie, and a lie sounds like a truth.
I mean, that's how society wants things to happen, but we just got to overcome
Yeah.
society.
You're absolutely right. They tend to dictate you how to live your life.
So I'm going to read this. It says, woe unto them. This is Isaiah 5:20. Destruction, problems, and torment unto them that call evil good and good evil. So it's just a matter of time before people get judged for trying to call good things evil, and then they embrace evil things as if it's good. And that's what society is pushing that most of us do. You have
You're
another...
powerful, brother. You're powerful.
Thanks for that accolades. You have another comment you want to make?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you for bringing the truth to the light and the light to the truth.
All right, thanks for that statement. And keep tuning
You
in.
have a good evening, brother.
All right, you too.
I will.
Peace. So before you patch in that call, engineer, I just want to read this. In Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. And how do you do that? By keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments in the Bible. And I want to say to all my brothers and sisters out there in Israelite communities especially, even though it's over, happy feast of the memorial of blowing of the trumpets, and the Day of Atonement's coming next Sunday night, where we fast for 24 hours of food and liquid. I hope everybody could partake in that and reflect on your previous years and how you're going to do better for the year and days to come. So, John, what's going on?
Brother Zaquan, how you doing?
All right, yourself, what's going on, John?
I'm hanging in there. Where's our leadoff hitter, man, Mark?
Say that again?
Where's our leadoff hitter, Mark? Where is it? What happened to him?
I don't know. He's taking a break.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
you
you
know
gotta...
you know how it used to go.
You know how they...
Him, the guy who died, and Mark. We're the old timers.
They probably have to got him in captivity on Saturdays for some reason.
Okay, who can we trust? I'm gonna attack that right now. We can only trust basically our mother and our children.
Not
And
necessarily.
You really have to be conscious. You have to be conscious yourself of really you don't need a circle. You got to eliminate the circle. As far as the circle, you don't really need a circle. Go solo.
But by going solo, that's why our people at the bottom right now, because everybody's doing themselves, looking out for self. They got to be about me and mine, as opposed to ours and communities. When we were more so geared towards communities, back in the day, we were making power moves. We would all boycott establishments together. We would all support each other in communities and shop and buy. We would live around each other.
The thing about it is Zaquan, we're not back in the days.
Yeah, but it's not working for us to be separate.
There is no people like that anymore. It's more everybody is for themselves. You got potheads that's legal thinking I'm gonna smoke weed because it's legal now, and they're not conscious of. There's a lot of people who are not conscious. More people who are not conscious today than they were yesterday. At least you had the Muslims going around teaching door to door as much as anybody else. It's not like that anymore.
I mean,
people are not conscious of what's going on about the whole society.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm not,
so
but I don't want us to stop trying to get us back there. Like we should be the ones talk about.
We need to try.
Make our people great again. We should have that slogan, because at one time we were great, and we need to say, make our people great again. And what does it take to make that happen?
Yeah, you did it. Remember, the Muslims did have stores and teaching you how to eat and telling you about the white man, and they had all of that back then. You don't have none of that now. There's no physical presence out in the community to show you how to live consciously.
Yeah, it's limited. It's out there, but it's limited.
You know what it is? And then the pastors, they say as many have come as Christ, and that's them. They'll come like they're Christ, like the Bible will warn you. Yeah, many will come saying that they're Christ. Be careful.
Exactly.
And that's them. So you can't, it's like I said, eliminate the circle, go solo, speak to people that you know who are conscious, that you got that whole vibe with. That's who you roll with. You don't need a circle. I could go with a semicircle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't have to roll like that, man. And Trump has exploded. His whole camp is going to backfire. This is going to be something like you've never seen before. This is going to be worse than Nixon.
Now, all the stuff
Everybody's getting locked up.
All the stuff he's done so far, I just want to see. If he gets over on this one, you just might as well say, you know what, there's nothing that he can't do where he'll get away with it. He even said he could murder somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, and I believe him.
It's not going down like that because they are subpoenaing the transcripts. And if he don't give over the transcripts, they're going to use that against him as the cover-up. The cover-up is worse than the crime. He already admitted to the crime.
He's already saying that's Mike Pence. He's already blaming Mike Pence for the...
This is a circus.
So
the cover-up is worse than the crime. He already admitted to the crime.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, I'm just touching base with you, man.
Oh, that's cool. But
I'm
we'll
going to
see.
keep it pushing, man.
All right, peace.
Always a pleasure, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And you're one of those conscious brothers that's in my semicircle.
Yeah, yeah, but don't give up, John. Let's try to make that a full circle. We got to try.
Man, we'll try, man. We'll try.
All right.
Please and blessings, man.
All right, peace. So this is along what Benjamin was talking about. This is Psalms 55:11. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile, trickery depart not from her streets. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. So he could have understood, this is David speaking, if an enemy came against him. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself, but it was thou, a man my equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. So be aware in your circle, there might be somebody, if you're doing something positive, that will come against you on a high level or is there, set up by somebody else to sabotage your movement. And that's guaranteed. So Mike, hey, what's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
All right?
All right. Yeah.
How you doing?
It's interesting that you having this topic. So I just had a debate argument with one of my coworkers yesterday about the same topic. It's funny. I debate with cats in my jaw all the time. And, they think I'm crazy.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what the funny thing is? We do the research. We actually get into forums, we hear all these different people talk, we get the information.
Right.
They don't do that, but then yet they want to argue with you about stuff.
Exactly, absolutely.
That boggles my mind. And they see me as being arrogant when I tell them, I do this. This is what I've done this for years. You cats don't do it. And they'll just, so well, you don't know you wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about? At least I have a contact in the situation, some type of connection.
Right.
You don't, because you don't even care until the topic comes up. So we got the argument. We were talking. He brought up Tommy Davidson, that his mother dumped him in the garbage can, and that this Caucasian woman, people found him and took care of him, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I said, that's a nice thing she did. It's a beautiful thing. But she still cannot come to our programs where we can't discuss something for our people.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that she actually did him a disservice. I mean, he did a good thing, saving his life and nurturing him while he's a youth, but you also poison him against his own people.
Yeah, poison his mind. Now at this point, I don't know if Thomas Davidson is like that, but let's just say, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that we have to have standards and stuff because other groups have it. Other ethnic groups have it. They
Right.
can be cool with you, but you're not going to be in their inner circle. You're not going to be among their group when they're discussing stuff with their people. And
Exactly.
there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I said, we lost that. And I was saying, well, what about his mother? She threw him away. But yeah, but you don't know the circumstances his mother was going through.
So what does that have to
yeah. Huh?
I'm just saying, what does that have to do with anything his mother threw him away? That's his mother had issues, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. And we're not, she's wrong. She didn't get punished. She'll get a pass. But we don't know what she was going through at that time.
Right.
So, and he was brought up a lot of these organizations that was betrayed by black. We have to understand. You look at Black Panthers. They was engaged with a lot of other Caucasian groups. They had the Japanese guy. I forgot his name. They nicknamed him the Yellow Panther. He was teaching them tactics, and all that time he was informing on them.
Yeah, because that was their big downfall.
Right. When you start aligning with other groups and this and that, and then different groups, you don't really know their background. The same thing, I hate to say this, even with Fred Hampton. He was connected with other groups, with dealing with, economic oppression, stuff like that. Now, he was a strong black man. People are looking for allies, but sometimes them allies, they have different agendas that you don't know about.
Because their whole goal was to integrate as opposed to keep it separate. And you do yours, we do ours, and we just come up side by side, but we can't integrate.
But then when we start with bringing people in our groups, and not only bring people in your groups, you giving them positions in your group.
Right.
What you think is going to happen? They're going to walk with you. They'll run the race with you, but they're not going to cross the finish line with you.
Exactly.
And that's just what it is. And we have to learn that. Okay, the top 669 thing, whatever his name is. Them cats who put him in their gang, I know what they was trying to do. They was trying to use them to get into the rap game.
Right.
So that's what that was about. So you give this guy all this credit. He starting all these fights with people. And the thing is, he initially got arrested for some pedophile stuff. He had a picture of some little girl, whatever, some sexual stuff, and they got him on that. And then he started screaming on them about stuff. And I read one of the comment sections about him, is that he had relatives that was like already into the game, into the industry. They were like, background people, administrators into the record industry, and they were using that to blow him up. So these guys, they don't get big by being with him, and he ended up snitching on them. Now he snitched on everybody, ain't got nothing to do with him.
Right.
You take a look at I think they call them the Newburgh Five. A Middle Eastern guy set them up. You remember that story, right?
Nah, I'm not. The Newburgh
That's the story with them guys. They were supposed to blow, set up a synagogue in Riverdale. They were from Newburgh, and they got them up. They got them up for terrorism.
Oh no.
But these guys wasn't no terrorists. They were just a couple of street cats who they ran through the Middle Eastern guy in a mosque, and he told him, you don't have to do nothing. Y'all just help us set up, and he'll plant the bomb, whatever, this and that. And that guy, he was an informant, like an agent. He owed back money to the government or something. He did some fraud thing, so the government got him to recruit some black dudes to make them the face of terrorism. Now these guys serving all kind of crazy sentences in prison right now. By trusting somebody they didn't really know that's not of their group.
Isn't that how it always goes down, though?
That's how it always goes down. When you run around, and I hate to say this too, every entertainer, when they mess with somebody Caucasian, they end up dead or hooked on drugs. There's always somebody outside their group, outside their people, bringing them drugs, because them people got access to it. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the people who flipping on Cosby outside his group. It happens time and time again. You know what I'm saying? Because people always say, well, black people can do that too. And that's true, But majority of the time, you fall the hardest because somebody outside the group got you.
Right.
And we have to learn, we have to have standards, and we have to have certain rules, like every other group does. The mafia was strong because the made men, they had to trace their lineage back to Sicily.
Right.
When they got lax on that, now the mob is what it is now.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. You can't infiltrate people. They don't allow you to do it, and you shouldn't allow nobody. You can work with others. I'm not saying you can't work with others. You can work with others, but you have to have certain lines that they can't cross. You know what I'm saying? And then that way, that keeps your own people in check. Because your people see you inviting everybody else in, they gonna figure, look, who's the ladder? I can say and do what I want, and I can betray you too. If you let anybody else in, then you get what happens. Then you let the wrong black person in. You know what I'm saying? Because everything you're doing is life. And I just want to contribute that to your conversation, man. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. And you was 100 with that. And the thing is, he even gave up a lot of people from the 9 Trey, which is a street gang associated with the Bloods as well, where he gave up people who admitted to him being a murderer. How are you going to let somebody from the outside, and you don't know their background, come in your organization? Elaine, how you doing?
I'm okay, Rose. I'm fine.
Oh, that's good. And what's your...
Yes, I'm saying you cannot trust those politicians because they are just in the house for rich people. They do not care about poor people.
Not at all. And that's why a lot of politicians are always getting caught up in some corruption thing. But how they usually break down people, because there were politicians that were associated with me, and then all of a sudden, now they bringing them up for indictment for certain things because they're punishing them for like being associated with me. So anybody that's doing something positive, they don't want you doing anything positive for your community, for your constituents, or anything. So it's kind of crazy.
Right.
So you have any other comment, Elaine?
No, Brother, that's all I have to say.
All right, and thanks for calling once again, and have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
And also, one thing I wanted to bring up is that, because what I was bringing up, like, doing a fatherhood movement, you had people who were at the top, not one of the co-founders, but they happened to be at the top. They knew a lot of administrators and making it happen. They were the ones that sabotaged it after a 7 years span to try to smash it. And these are the things that I experienced as well. Jesus. Jesus, what's going on?
Well, I'm not Jesus, I'm Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
See, the
Shalom,
engineer
brothers,
they cross lines. What's going on, Mark? How you doing? Shalom.
Okay. All right. Sticking with the topic, let's start with Jeremiah chapter 17, verses 5 to 8.
Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be man that trusteth in man and make his flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. So you're not supposed to make flesh his arm, being in your strength, and that's going to hold you up. And your mind or your heart departs from the Lord. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabit it. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. So that's positive, and that's the duality. I mean, that's the differences of not trusting in the Lord and in trusting in the Lord. And I could attest to that as well.
Okay, the next scripture is Psalm 37, verses 3 to 7.
Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord also. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. Right? Don't worry about people who's making dough out there, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So don't worry about Donald Trump and the people like that, because their wickedness is going to come to an end. Just trust in the Most High in the name of our Lord and Savior, and guaranteed good things will happen to you if you have faith that it will. And I appreciate. You got any more, Mark?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it, Brother Quan. I know what. So,
Yeah, but the water for that.
yeah, all right. Shalom.
And enjoy your feast days. Shalom.
Thank you.
Jesus. They even broke. You had Cat Williams, Allen Iverson, Chuck D, the rapper. All of them were positive and high-powered at one time, but they eventually broke all of them down, where now they're watered down. When you hear their conversations, you have Chuck D talking about Eminem or the Beastie Boys were the greatest rappers on the planet Earth. And this is what happens when they break you and they have something against you. Jesus.
Hello? Yes.
You could give me some volume? How you doing?
Okay. Yeah, let me turn down the volume there. Okay. I have a biblical question that I need to get some clarity on. It's about the Sabbath, right?
Right.
I've been doing reading on the Sabbath, and I've been practicing it. I'm fairly new.
So so your question? So your question is?
My question is okay, just a little inference on who I was talking to. I was talking to my daughter and her husband. They're Christians. So I told them I'm practicing the Sabbath, and they said the Sabbath, Jesus was the Sabbath, and you know you can practice the Sabbath any day.
Where does it say that in the Bible?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they said that, oh, Jesus said he was the Sabbath, so you
No, he
you
said he
don't-
was
you can
Lord of the Sabbath anyway. But right.
Exactly.
What you hit them with, you could write this down, 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Because what
Okay,
they're
hold
saying.
on,
Okay.
Hold on, let me get a piece of paper. Hold on. All right, just 1 second. 5 Thessalonians. Okay. 5 Thessalonians. Okay, I got that.
1 Thessalonians 5:21. What it says is prove all things. Because when people who are practicing Christianity is a man religion, and they actually don't follow Christ. Christ said in 1 Peter 2:21 and 22, he said, in other words, I'm going to paraphrase, he said, follow me who did no sin. And in 1 John 3 and 4, it says sin is breaking the law. So when you have these people talking about they're Christians and they're followers of Christ, but they're not keeping the law, they're not keeping the holy days, and they're keeping man-made holidays like Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all that type of stuff, they're not actually following Christ. So when you pull scriptures like prove all things, prove to me that Christ was really about that. Prove to me if Christ kept the Sabbath and we're supposed to follow in his steps, why shouldn't we keep the Sabbath? Why shouldn't we keep the holy days like it says in John, the 7th chapter and the 10th chapter, which is the Feast of Dedication and the Feast of Tabernacle? Why shouldn't we keep the Passover like in Luke 22 and 1 like Christ did? Why shouldn't we do all the things that our Lord and Savior did as opposed to what man is telling us to do with these preachers who really don't know the Bible even if they read the Bible 15 times? And that's why we read it as it is written. So in Romans 3 and 3 and 4, we can overcome when we're judged. But I'm going to have to take these calls. Hopefully, I didn't go too fast for you, or you have it on DVR. You could bring it back and get those scriptures. But
Okay.
call back earlier, and I'll be able to deal with your more questions.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But that's how
All
you
right, thanks
show
a lot.
them. Make them put the
Yeah.
onus on them to prove what they're talking about. And Tawada, Jesus. Big Blue? So, Big Blue, Big Lou, Salakia.
Brother Z,
What's going
how you
on?
doing there?
How you
Oh,
doing?
man, it's been a minute. Oh, okay, I'm good. It's been a minute.
Yeah, but good hearing from you.
Oh, okay. Interesting topic you got up there. I know I got like a little bit of time, but the thing that broke my heart Monday when the father jumped in front of the train on Kingsbridge,
Right.
and you talking about who can you trust, and I know, you know, the brother probably had some mental issues, but just
Definitely.
like the little girl, you know, that's your father.
She trusted
You know,
him.
That's somebody you trust. This person's supposed to protect you, and he's jumping in front of a train. That broke my heart the other day.
Right. Yeah,
That's terrible.
it's difficult, but you gotta know. I put the onus on the mother because if you know somebody's mental health, unfortunately, you have to keep your eye upon them. If somebody has issues or you know somebody went to jail for pedophilia, you're gonna leave them with your you know what? He's a nice guy. I'm gonna leave him with my child for a minute. No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna keep your eye on him. So they knew he had mental health issues. I know they didn't think he would do something that heinous, but unfortunately, you have to watch people that have, you gotta know the people who you're rolling with.
And that's a line of work I do. I work with the kids, and a lot of them have horrible stories. Like, I grew up in Edenwald, so the main thing, you had bullies back then. Now these kids is going through all kind of molestation, and it's crazy. I didn't have to go through that, but just seeing and hearing all their stories.
Yeah.
These are people you're supposed to trust, and it's like family members.
Yeah. I
That's
hear
why
a
I
lot
like
of
that
stories
topic.
myself. You'd be surprised how many stories I hear.
Terrible. All right, brother.
All right, Big Lou, Dewada, for that comment. Hope everything works out, and just stay strong when you're hearing all this stuff. I know it's difficult. This is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verses 6 through 10. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enemy and strife, will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of affliction. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. Because a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such and one has found a treasure. And Tawada for that. Alberto, I know you wanted me to read the whole chapter because it's very powerful and deep. I want to say happy feast of memorial blowing of trumpets, which has passed. Happy feast of tabernacles coming up. And happy feast days. Shalom. Peace to my brothers and sisters out there. Thanks for calling. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the comments and input. It was powerful. Enlightenment. I'm Zaquan Malak, and the conversation continues.